Kyle Busch has spent 15 years with JGR, and although he won 2 championships for the team in 2015 and 2019, it seems like NASCAR has proven yet again that it's all about business. Despite his declining form over the previous 2 seasons, the main reason he wasn't retained by JGR was that the team couldn't find him a suitable sponsor. I mean, Busch was commonly known as the Candyman, and this is something that he's been recognized by throughout his whole career. Eminem supported him through thick and thin, and now that path has gone to waste. Busch won't be the Candyman anymore, and what's even more tragic for him is the fact that he had to downgrade his ride from JGR to Richard Childress Racing. Not that he won't be good at RCR, far from it, but the equipment on his team is far inferior to that of JGR. That is why everyone out there feels like Busch received a cold, harsh treatment from the team and didn't deserve to be treated in any way. Now let's analyze the sponsor situation a bit more carefully. Eminem and JGR stated that they were unable to reach an agreement and that Busch would be forced to leave the team as a result. But with Busch's arrival in RCR, he has inherited Tyler Reddick's old sponsor without any issues, and on top of that, he was able to obtain some new sponsorship deals as well. Now, you tell me that it's about the driver and not the team. Tyler Reddick left the team to race for 23XI Racing, replacing Kurt Busch, who will only compete in a few races in the 2023 season due to a concussion suffered during the qualifying stage in Poconos. With him leaving the primary sponsors behind, Busch didn't have a hard time convincing them that the issue with him leaving JGR was not up to him, but to the team's policies, and the fact that JGR had a family member that needed to be promoted to the team from the Xfinity Series. Ty Gibbs has a reputation as a reckless driver who doesn't really care about his teammates, which was proven during the Martinsville race when Gibbs crashed into his teammate, Brandon Jones, who was leading the race. Although Gibbs said he has sponsors that he needs to take care of, Jones lost hopes for the championship after this move, and he said that although he respected him up until that point, the relationship between him and the Gibbs family is now over. However, Matt Kenseth is the Hall of Famer that doesn't really understand as to why the situation with Busch happened the way it did. And with his recent comments, one couldn't help but wonder, what in the world is happening at the Gibbs family? On top of that, Kenseth spoke about the impact that Coach Gibbs has had on his career, saying that he is one of the best individuals that one could meet in their lifetime. Coach Gibbs was a very important figure in Kenseth's life. When talking about him and the impact that he's left on his career, Kenseth added, "He's very competitive. Obviously, he is a great coach, a great motivator, leader. He also works incredibly hard. First one typically there, last one kinda leave type of guy too. Always traveling, talking to sponsors. He's so great on sales, networking with people, making everybody feel important, treating everybody like family. All that kind of stuff is what makes him so successful." When a Hall of Famer defends one of the most contentious team owners in recent memory, something must be lurking in the shadows. Obviously, the fans are not going to agree with Kenseth because Joe Gibbs didn't really show much respect for the 15 years of time that Busch has spent with the team. One would say, well, he won 2 championships with the team, something that wouldn't be possible with another team. But given the fact that Busch is an incredible talent, we doubt that other teams wouldn't have given him the opportunity to win championships. But this is a significant pattern of behavior that we need to pay attention to, and what is more important is the fact that even Denny Hamlin isn't safe from leaving the team. The 2023 season will almost certainly be his last, and it appears that JGR intends to use the same strategy as they did with Busch, namely the sponsorship card. NASCAR's current business model requires sponsors to bring in approximately 80% of the competition money, which is a large sum of money for the record, and FedEx has been working behind Hamlin's back for quite some time now. However, Hamlin has never won a championship, and he's been with the team for an astonishing 18 years. And now the team is considering sacking him and bringing in younger hope without even being considerate about his future. One would say that's how all things go, and Hamlin hasn't been quite spectacular in NASCAR, so he doesn't deserve to be treated with extra attention. But Hamlin will go down as the most successful driver in NASCAR who hasn't won a championship if he doesn't win one in 2023. He has a record of 48 wins, and although he doesn't enjoy a huge following in NASCAR, as can be seen by the empty stands of his supporters and the lack of merchandise with his name, that is not the way he should be treated by this team. What we are very curious to see is whether Ty Gibbs will be able to calm his emotions and his anger and perform as a professional athlete in the Cup Series as a full-time driver. Sure, he's had the taste with 23XI Racing, replacing Busch from time to time, but that is by far the real thing that he needs to experience as a full-time racing driver. We've seen a situation in which Larson has pinched Wallace to the wall, and the aftermath was quite scary, and many have started to wonder whether Gibbs is the second coming of Wallace's temper and anger. Now that he has to deal with the tragic passing of his father, the emotions and the adrenaline can get the best out of him, which would put JGR out there as the laughingstock in NASCAR. The first reason would be because they replaced a proven champion under a false accusation that the sponsor wanted to withdraw, while the second reason would be that the kid who is underperforming is actually the grandson of the owner, and the connections can only get you so far. Kyle Busch, on the other hand, plans to waste no time on winning his third career championship, and although he is well into his 40s, that doesn't mean that he's giving up. Busch spoke about his expectations for the upcoming season, and while many expect to see a downgrade in his performance, that is not in Busch's plans, as he added, "I expect to come right out of the gate and get going and be fast right away. I hope that comes to fruition and starts at the Clash. There is a really good sense of a baseline in the new team to achieve great speed and be competitive right off the bat. I don't think it will take much time. Fast cars cure all." Therefore, we can confirm that Busch is in a happy place now, and that the last driver you would want to race against is a driver that has something to prove to the NASCAR world. With how he was treated by JGR, Busch will indeed have some proving to do to the rest of the grid. As for Kenseth, he can defend Joe Gibbs as much as he wants, but the reality is that the team did Busch dirty, and no matter how good of an individual Gibbs is, he's proven yet again that he doesn't care that much about his drivers. If Hamlin suffers the same fate, Busch will undoubtedly go down as one of the sport's most notorious and careless owners, which is why we must pay close attention to how JGR develops in the coming period, as well as RCR and Busch's debut. What do you think about the former Candyman? Do you think that Busch has what it takes to win yet another championship in his life? Let us know in the comments below.